On CrossroadsToday.com, first responders sound the alarm about holiday traditions, why this year's celebrations could be more dangerous than expected. Plus, black smoke and emergency calls. A community comes together after tragedy strikes. And a man accused of a serious crime in Washington changes his story, but he first denied to investigators.
And thanks to the cold front that blew in last night, it is going to be quite windy today. And that northerly wind will also bring us some near freezing temperatures later this week, but also some high fire danger. All that in the weather coming up.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. Let's see how the Victoria East soccer girls team is using their alumni scrimmage this past weekend as momentum going into the regular season. Coming up in your sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and welcome to your windy Monday morning.
Windy Monday morning. That is an understatement. It is quite windy out there this morning. In fact, it is so windy that we have a big studio in here. Every once in a while, there's a big gust that blows in, and it makes the walls creak. Kind of making me freak out a little bit. And I'm sure some of y'all are probably thinking the same thing because it is windy for all of us out there this morning. Don't believe me? Look at our live camera this morning. Every once in a while, you're going to probably see that camera shake like crazy. There it goes right there. That's because we have wind gusts being reported up to 40 to 45 miles an hour at times. All that thanks to the cold front that blew in last night. That's bringing us a temperature of 55 degrees this morning. So a little bit cool out there. So definitely bundle up. That's quite the obvious. Go ahead and grab the jacket. But look at this, y'all. The dew point is 20 degrees right now. That's 12 below freezing, but 35 degrees away from our temperature, bringing us a humidity in the morning time. The sun hasn't even come up yet. 25%, and that humidity will continue dropping today. We'll look at that better detail here in a second because you can see wind gusts for all of us right now hovering about the same, right around 40 to 45 miles an hour. So definitely layer up today because that wind will definitely try and seep into your clothing. Otherwise, humidity also already kind of dry before the sun comes up. 19% right now being reported in Refugio, but that is going to continue dropping today. And that's why we have an alert day in effect for all Crossroads counties for your Monday with your wind gusts up to 40 to 45 miles an hour at times and humidity plummeting down to 15 to 25%. That would bring us some fire danger for today, so make sure to stay safe and no burning. Otherwise, grab the jacket. Starting out the day a little bit cool, low mid 50s, but later today temperatures are not going to warm up very much thanks to the cloud cover, and we'll look at all those details next.
As the new year approaches, city officials are reminding residents about safety. First responders are pushing for fireworks safety as Victoria remains under stage 2 drought conditions. The conditions mean the risk of fire remains high, even with no burn ban in effect. City of Victoria Assistant Fire Marshal Drew Pilkington says fireworks can be a major threat in dry conditions.
So Victoria County and along with the surrounding counties have recently come out of a burn ban. Most all of them have lifted it, but that doesn't mean that we're out of any risk for fire. We're nowhere near out of a drought. Even the recent rains, morning fogs that we have in the morning, all of our fuels, dry fuels on the grounds are still very, very susceptible to catching fire easily with sparks, such as from fireworks.
Fire officials say residents planning to set off fireworks in the county should keep plenty of water nearby and ensure that used fireworks are submerged and completely extinguished before disposal. A reminder for Victoria County residents. County commissioners remain on recess for the holidays, which means there will be no commissioners court at the Victoria County Courthouse today. They will reconvene on Monday, January 5th. Residents with county business are encouraged to plan accordingly or check the county's website for updates. On Sunday, President Donald Trump met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The meeting comes as both leaders are looking to make progress on a potential peace deal to end the war in Ukraine. Trump says Russian President Vladimir Putin is serious about peace. The meeting came just a day after Russia launched a massive missile attack on Ukraine's capital. Now to a deadly mid-air collision between two helicopters south of Philadelphia. ABC's Hannah Battah has the latest as witnesses recount the crash.
This morning, dramatic video shows a helicopter spinning out of control seconds before crashing near Hamilton Airport in southern New Jersey. Black smoke billowing into the sky, witnesses calling 911.
I see one helicopter slowly descending down in a rotating motion, almost as if the rudder and the tail had they've lost control. And then I see a second one come down with the same issue behind it.
One pilot died. The other pilot rushed to the hospital critically injured. Both were reportedly flying close together in tandem. It's unclear why.
My husband just started screaming, saying, "Call 911."
One witness and her husband rushed to the scene with their neighbor, trying to comfort one of the pilots.
There was a man in there. He was conscious and breathing and, kind of just looking around. And the only thing I could think to do was just hold his hand and talk to him. So I just laid in the ground next to him and just was hey, we're here. Don't worry.
The owner of a local restaurant says the pilots ate breakfast together yesterday.
It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe. They seem to come in all the time together. They fly in together, and they seem to be close.
Hannah Battah, ABC News, New York.
President Trump is scheduled to meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at Mar-a-Lago today. The two leaders are expected to focus on their discussion on Gaza and Iran. The discussions are expected to include opportunities for peace and an end to Hamas's rule in the Gaza Strip. Negotiations on the next stages of Trump's plan to end the conflict in Gaza continue as the first phase of the peace plan nears completion. We're learning more about the suspect accused of planting pipe bombs in D.C. Brian Cole Jr. reportedly planted pipe bombs at the Democratic and Republican headquarters on January 5th, 2021. During early interviews, Cole denied recognizing the person in surveillance footage seen planting the bombs, but later admitted to being that individual. Cole has yet to enter a plea, but denies his actions were directed toward Congress or related to the January 6th proceedings. For more local news, weather, and sports, come to crossroadstoday.com. It's just about 6:37. Just getting a look at our clock up here on our Monday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. A local lawmaker asking for your help with an important community project. Find out what Victoria County needs from you.
President Trump says Ukraine and Russia are closer than ever to reaching a peace deal. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with the latest discussions as Russia launches another deadly attack in Ukraine.
And also coming up next after the break in the short-term forecast, with the cold front blowing in today, you heard me say it's going to be a little bit cool out there. So coming up next, we'll take a look and see how chilly it'll be near you. Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Monday. For your Monday, you heard me saying it earlier, we have an alert day in effect for today. It's going to be all Crossroads counties under that alert day, to which y'all can all expect, like I was saying earlier, some breezy winds, quite windy, 40 to 45 mile-an-hour wind gusts for today. That'll be mainly for the morning time, which we'll look at in a second. But that northerly wind gusting at times, you can hear it on the station at times, that's going to bring us some very dry humidity, as low as 15 to 25% this afternoon, also around noontime. So, also right now, because the humidity is 20%. So make sure we're not burning anything out there today. That includes fireworks. I know we're just a few days away from New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. That includes fireworks. So let's not practice any of that today, because with the wind, that's just going to carry it into your neighbor's yard or maybe even the neighborhood across the street, because it's going to be pretty breezy today. That's going to bring us our fire danger. You can see high to very high danger around the Crossroads, but extreme fire danger. We're getting closer to the Houston area and getting closer to Beaumont and Orange, Texas, over there in southeast Texas. So if you happen to live anywhere around that area, definitely no burning of any kind and definitely no fireworks. I know we're real close to New Year's, but let's hold off on that for just a couple days, shall we? That's like I said, because of our winds. Morning time mainly gusting up to 40 to 45 at times, but they'll be on the decrease for the entire day. Noontime looking at 30 to 35 miles an hour, and for the rest of the afternoon, still about 30 to 35. And as we go into the evening tonight, they'll keep on decreasing down to 20 to 25 miles an hour, and then it will be down to 15 and 20 miles an hour for tomorrow, Tuesday. But with that wind breezy out of the north, it's going to bring us our dry humidity, like I said, 15 to 20% this afternoon, and then even drier humidity for tomorrow, Tuesday, 10 to 20% humidity. However, we're not going to be breezy, so thankfully there's not going to be any fire danger, but let's still don't do any kind of burning. But today, warm yourself up, shall we? Because it's going to be a little bit cool out there with that wind and also our clouds. That's going to keep our highs on only the 50s today. Same thing tomorrow before we're near freezing one night, and then we're warming up for the brand new year. And we'll look at that next.
So over the course of the weekend, we spoke with Victoria East alumni girls soccer players about their scrimmage against current players. But we heard how they were excited, but let's go ahead and focus on the present. The current East soccer team is full of steam as they prepare for the regular season, and they use this game in their scrimmage as momentum going in forth.
I think it really means a lot. Like, we all come together and we just really support somebody that really means a lot to us. So I think something we could take away from today is we really need to talk more on our offense. But really, I think we're connecting a lot this year. Last year we were good, but I think this year we're going to be better.
I think we're really getting our groove, just starting really early into the season. We do leave for our tournament next week, so hopefully we just get our groove back. I think we're doing really good. We're really connecting.
Best of luck to the East girls as they host Gonzales today at Memorial Stadium at 11:30 in a non-district game. But that does it for your 25 News Now Sports. Until next time, I'm Ray Robinson.
Experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. Now to the search for peace in Ukraine. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio reports from Washington as Trump claims Vladimir Putin is prepared to negotiate.
Ukraine is ready for peace.
This morning, President Trump says Russia and Ukraine may be very close to a peace deal after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met with President Trump at Mar-a-Lago on Sunday. Trump also spoke with Russian President Vladimir Putin for hours on the phone.
We could be very close. There are one or two very thorny issues.
The president saying a major sticking point in attempting to reach a peace deal is the territory. Zelensky proposing a 20-point peace plan, which includes stronger security guarantees and a demilitarized buffer zone in the contested Donbas region of Ukraine. But Zelensky cautions any plan would likely need approval by the Ukrainian people.
If the plan will be very difficult for our society, very difficult, of course our society has to choose and has to vote because it's their land, the land not of one person, it's the land of our nation for a lot of generations.
Over the weekend, Russia launched one of its biggest attacks on Ukraine in months, killing 2 people and injuring dozens more, leaving families without electricity freezing in the cold. Trump saying Putin does not want to be forced to stop fighting, only to have to start again.
He doesn't want to be in that position. I understand that position. You have to understand the other side.
Both President Zelensky and Trump said peace talks will continue in the coming weeks, including a possible meeting with European leaders, potentially at the White House. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
State Representative A.J. Lauterbach is working to help Victoria County Animal Services as they prepare to move. The relocation project moves the office from Perimeter Road to Prophet Street, or rather Prophet Drive. Lauterbach is calling for support. He's asking residents to donate items like stainless steel tables, dog houses, and toys. Donations can be dropped off at the 2nd floor of the Heritage Mark building located at 5606 North Navarro. If you see news happening, let us know. Call the number on your screen or email us your tips at staff@crossroadstoday.com. It's now 6:44 on our Monday morning. Still to come on Sunrise. A familiar threat returns with a twist. This time it's different and more intense. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Jada. May your day be filled with love, peace, and blessings. Love always and forever from Mom.
Happy birthday, Jada, and also congratulations. She's our cake winner today. And also happy birthday to Ted Danson. Everyone's favorite bartender from Cheers is 78 today. Happy birthday, Ted. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, you can come to crossroadstoday.com. Just click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
I also enjoyed Ted Danson in The Good Place.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
It's a really fun show.
Interesting.
It's now 6:45 on our Monday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today, or maybe you got to celebrate over the weekend.
Over the weekend, that's right. Happy birthday, y'all. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure a lot of you saw on that 7-day forecast a few moments ago, it's going to be a little bit cool today. You probably saw a high temperature of 54 degrees. Yeah, I'm thinking that's how cool it's going to be today in Victoria under the cloud cover and the wind, so make sure you're bundling up today. That is going to be 11 degrees below where we're supposed to be below. And our low temperature tonight also below where we're supposed to be. I'm thinking 40 here in Victoria. Some of us might try and sneak into the upper 30s, and you'll see that here in a second. Because you can see everyone else this afternoon going to be about the same. High temperatures not warming up very much than what we already are right now. They'll get up to the low and mid 50s for everybody today. And overnight tonight, lows will drop down to, like I said, about 40 degrees. But some of us might try sneaking into the upper 30s somewhere around the crossroads. So just make sure to bundle up. But something you also might have seen on the 7-day forecast a few moments ago is if you thought tonight is cold, look at Wednesday morning. I have a possible alert day up on Wednesday for the morning time because 33 degrees is a degree away from freezing, and if we drop 1 degree less, that would be freezing. So on Wednesday morning, we're looking at some of us getting 2 or maybe a degree below freezing before the rest of this week. Look at that. For the new year, we're warming up back into the 70s and 80s, even with a weak front coming on Friday night. Weak front. But the front that's coming through now, like I said, going to bring us down to near or below freezing for northeastern counties, but also some northern counties. I'm thinking Hallettsville, Wharton, El Campo, y'all might get 2 or a degree below freezing. But as for everyone else, we're going to be watching that real closely just in case y'all need to cover your pipes. We'll watch it real closely. As of right now, I don't think Victoria's going to freeze. But don't like the cold? Guess what? Like I said, we're going to warm up all the way into the new year. Highs in the 60s Wednesday and 70s on the New Year's Day. And we'll look at all that and more later on Sunrise.
As 2026 nears, investors face a key priority: preparing for a restructured Federal Reserve. The Wall Street Journal says the next few months will see the end of Jerome Powell's term as Fed chair and the possibility of President Trump appointing 2 new Fed governors. The president has been pushing for the Fed to cut interest rates more aggressively. Some retirees have a decision to make soon or risk a significant tax penalty. An analysis by wealth management firm Vanguard shows nearly 7% of those required to take distributions from their retirement accounts failed to take the money out. The tax penalty could be nearly $3,000. Oil prices are climbing this morning as investors weigh the possibility of a peace deal between Ukraine and Russia, as well as Middle East tensions, futures rising around 1% during overnight trading. A Chinese startup has its eye on SpaceX. Earlier this month, a company called Landspace became the first in China to run a test on a reusable rocket. Cases of illness climb as the season progresses. ABC's Allison Cossack reports as a familiar threat spreads during holiday gatherings.
This morning, cases of the flu surging nationwide. The latest CDC data shows nearly 5 million cases across the country.
Flu cases are rising in many parts of the country, with 50,000 hospitalizations, 2,000 deaths, all attributed to the flu.
New York State is now seeing its worst flu outbreak on record. More than 71,000 cases in one recent week alone, the most ever in a single week. At least 14 other states are reporting a high or very high number of cases, from Louisiana to Colorado and up to New England. And this week, as people return home and go back to work after the holidays, expect cases to rise.
We all gathered together for the holiday season. We share our love, our joy. We also share our germs.
While this year's flu seems similar to previous years, including high fever, body aches, and fatigue, doctors say with this year's strain, they're seeing more vomiting in children and symptoms are coming on faster and more intensely.
I couldn't even walk. I could barely talk. I did help with everything I did. I was not able to eat or drink.
The bulk of this year's cases are being linked to a new variant known as subclade K. Doctors say the flu shot will still help reduce your risk of severe illness, but fewer Americans have been vaccinated this year. One survey found only 34% of adults got their shot. If you do get sick, there are treatments.
So it's a good idea to go and swab and get tested because you might be able to take an antiviral such as Tamiflu for influenza as long as you start that quickly, usually within 48 hours of symptoms.
The CDC recommends everyone over the age of 6 months get their flu shot, and doctors say it's not too late. Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. A transportation disaster claimed several lives. Investigators continue to search for answers. Authorities in Mexico are reporting at least 13 people were killed and 98 others injured after a train derailed Sunday. The Mexican Navy said the train carried 9 crew members and 241 passengers when it crashed. Today, many post-holiday travelers face weather delays as severe snow and ice storms batter the Northeast and the Midwest. Across these regions, forecasters are calling for blizzard conditions with up a foot of snow falling in some areas, and strong winds dropping wind chills into the negatives. Meanwhile, FlightAware reports about 10,000 U.S. flights were delayed yesterday and up to 800 canceled. Starting in the new year, the Metropolitan Transit Authority will no longer sell Metro cards. Riders will have to switch to a contactless system called Omni, short for One Metro New York. The new system replaces swiping with tapping using smartphones, smartwatches, credit cards, or Omni cards. The MTA says the change will save the agency $20 million a year. And we want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a final look at our windy forecast with Parker. Parker, it's windy, but is it also cold?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both out there, actually. And I think I'm going to be honest, windy is a kind of a bit of an understatement right now, because every once in a while you're going to see this live camera looking in southeastern Victoria. It's going to really start shaking out there. And I mean, like every once in a while, it's like really shaking out there. It's because the winds are really blowing out there, y'all. So make sure you're bundling up this morning, because that wind will try and infiltrate into your clothing and make you chilly. 53 is what we're starting out for the air temperature in Victoria. Dew point, look at this, 17 degrees is our dew point, bringing our humidity down to 24%, and the sun isn't even up yet. You can see our cloud cover that is over us right now. That's going to be with us all day long, so keep that jacket on you, because the clouds and the wind is going to make it chilly all day long. You can see all of us right now pretty much starting out in the low and mid 50s, but with the winds out there, looking at wind chills right now and pretty much all day long, going to be hovering in the low 50s and upper 40s. So stay warm out there, y'all. And today, fishers and boaters, I'm just going to go ahead and say, stay off the waters, because we see we have 2 flags, not 1, 2 flags. That's going to be because we have a gale warning in effect for your wind gusts up to 40 knots at times, bringing us some rough seas. Weather Service is calling for 6 to 9 feet. So I think that's safe enough for me to say, stay off the waters. If you are going to be on the waters today, please stay safe out there. It is going to be quite choppy and rough. Otherwise, in the inland counties, it will be cool and windy. 55 for the high in Port Lavaca, low 50s by noontime. Mostly cloudy all day, so I don't think you need your sunglasses, but definitely layer up, because the wind will try and seep into your clothing. 54 for the high in Victoria, low 50s by noon as well, upper 40s by the time we get to sunset, and the same thing in Cuero, but about a degree cooler. 53 for the high today, about 51 at noon, and 49 by about 6 p.m. right around sunset. But if you're not a fan of this cool weather, you can see on our satellite, here's our cloud cover that'll be with us today, but you can see the northern states, they just had the cool front as well. They're starting out the day in like the single digits, but behind this front, we have high pressure. That's going to be moving in overhead over the rest of this week, and that is going to bring back the sunshine, and I'm sure a lot of y'all are probably ready for that. And we're going to start warming up all the way into the new year. We'll see high temperatures get back into the 70s and 80s, and of course on Wednesday morning we're going to get real close to freezing. So yeah, we're going to be watching that real closely.
All right, Parker, thank you so much.
Of course.
And thank you all for joining us this morning. Be sure to join Shonadon, Maclovio, and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.